When you buy word processing from Wang, you get more than just the best-selling word processing in the world. You get an easy-to-use system that opens the door to the world of office automation. An incredible world that can include data processing, voice and image processing, even worldwide communications. No wonder more people choose word processing from Wang. When you consider all the things it can do, it's an open and shut case.
Matt Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium. The last 4 Dallas possessions have resulted in 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. That's not bad. They lead 30-7 over Philadelphia. 7.5 minutes left. Third period. Pitch is back to Spring. Joel Williams. And now the other 2 Eagle linebackers, Robinson and Griggs and everybody out there. Those last 4 possessions I was just talking about, they started at the 46, the 14, the 49, the 45. You can see the number of plays they ran and the results they got. You win a lot of games with performance like that. 2nd and 9.
Well, it's a performance, I think, that also shows some consistency in the offense. I know in all the talk with the players and coaches are always worried mostly about their offensive consistency.
Tony Dorsett wheels out for another Dallas first down outside the 30. Good block by Bill Pozderick.
Watch this now. Here, now watch Tony Dorsett here. See, it's a little counter move. He moves to the right. He's going to follow his right tackle in here, Jim Cooper. Now watch, he waits for him, and then when he sees that hole, just boom, he just puts it on right up the field. Looks like he may have hurt that right wrist again. You know, he's wearing a soft cast on there, a cast of silicone caulk.
Silicone caulk. This is Ron Springs. He gets to the outside and gets out to about the 37 before he's knocked down by Bernard Wilson.
Doctors say, wait, you got a bad arm there? Yeah, well, we'll put a little silicone on there. Caulk it up. Caulk up your wrist.
I got to try that. Second and 6. 5.5 minutes to play, third quarter. Cowboys 30, Eagles 7. Newsom has replaced Dorsett. Newsom takes the handoff, and Newsom rambles to midfield into Eagle territory before Bernard Wilson makes the stop, and Newsom gets up gingerly.
Looks like Timmy Newsom has learned some of that stuff from Tony Dorsett. Watch how he controls his speed there. Starts off in the I formation. That was a missed play. That play was supposed to go to the left. You see that? It was supposed to go to the left. He took the ball, and he just waited, hesitated, saw a big hole, just ran right up the middle with it.
When things are going right, they go right, and they stay right. Tough day for Philadelphia. The Orioles 5, the Phillies nothing. Right to Newsom. Newsom nudges this time for a couple, not much more than that. Anthony Griggs made the stop. We might start seeing Hogaboom in just a few minutes if it continues to operate like this. Dorsett comes back, Newsom goes out.
You know, one thing about the Cowboys is Tony Dorsett is a great running back, but they sure don't baby him.
No.
I mean, they let him have one play off and boom, get right back in there. They're ahead 30-7. I'll tell you, he's a tough guy. He really is a tough guy.
Let's see if he still is. I really can't find too much fault with that, though, can you? That they don't baby him, the fact that you're talking about?
I don't know. I mean, you know, it's one of those things, if you have a 30-7 lead, you may give them a few more breathers, but You're right. That's what you're paying him for, to play, and you know, and he does it as well or better than anyone.
3rd and 8. 3:16 left, third quarter. Cowboys 30, Eagles 7. Then now Danny White goes back in the shotgun formation. Some room. A target. Drew Pearson scrambles to the ground at about the 31-yard line by Ronell Young and Randy Logan. But a Dallas first down. A good throw by White.
Danny White, a good throw. The story of this game has really been the Cowboys' success on that shotgun and third down and being able to throw against the Eagle pass defense. It had been the tight end the whole first half. Here they run the tight end deep. They bring Butch Johnson in underneath on a hook. Excuse me, that's Drew Pearson in on a hook, and then he gets a big first down for it. But you notice there's been different guys, but they're still working that inside, that middle area. Has been different guys, hasn't it?
How about the bottom one?
Well, the old center, he finally got one. They deserve one once in a while.
Yeah.
Just snap it, grumble around in there in the line with that nose tackle all day.
Here's the reverse again, and Springs, who threw that left-handed pass before, got the bounce. Anthony Griggs wasn't fooled. 1:55 left, third quarter here. Let's again take you to Brent Musburger in New York.
At the Giants and the Chiefs tied at 17. Bruner pulls out, and Sherwood Rockamore catches a badly thrown pass, dashes on into the end zone, and now the Chiefs have taken a 7-point lead on the Giants. Let's go back to Pat and John.
All right, Brent, the score here is Dallas 30, the Eagles 7. The Eagles have won all 4 of their contests on the road this year. The Cowboys have won wherever they play. 2nd and 13. White looking over that Philadelphia defense. They've been on that field a long time. Screen pass called and a perfect call. Springs. Inside the 20 to the 17. Jerry Robinson tripped him up. They had that at the right time, didn't they?
I'll tell you, Danny White really set up that Eagle defense. He looked out to his wide receiver on the right, make the Eagle defense think he's throwing outside, and then he throws that screen up the middle. This is a thing of beauty, the way it develops. Watch here. Those fake Springs will fake the block there, hand in. Now watch when he gets the ball. There's 3 guys up in front of him, led by Rafferty. He gets the block there. Springs just gets by that. But that is a perfect screen. The back, 3 guys in front of you, motoring right down the field.
30 seconds left, third quarter. Cowboys on the move one more time. White gives to Springs. Springs cuts inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. Pickup of 3.
I still think old Danny White was trying to set him up on that when he was talking out there to his right, and pointing out there, and everyone's saying, hey, they're going to the outside guy. They're going to throw deep in the end zone. And he throws in the middle on a screen.
You mean you think he would be guilty of doing something deceptive?
Heck yeah, so would that other guy with the hat.
That's the end of the third quarter. Dallas leads Philadelphia 30-7 at the end of 3.
Try something different to set yourself free. Pick up your life in a new GMC. So day and night, time, be all you can be. Pick up your life in a new GMC. Expand your horizons, see all you can see. Pick up your life in a new GMC. GMC, a truck you can live with.
Hey guys, I'm back.
Catch anything, Riley?
Yeah, I caught this granddaddy of a fish. But when I got him in the boat, he says, I'll give you 3 wishes if you throw me back.
A talking fish?
Well, it was hot. I was thirsty, so I wished for a nice cold Stroh's beer. And there it was. Tasted so good, I wished for another one.
2 wishes, 2 Strohs.
And what'd you do with the third wish?
Hey, would I forget my friends?
From one beer lover to another, Strohs.
The highly ranked Texas Longhorns take on a team that hasn't lost in 21 games, the SMU Mustangs. NCAA football next Saturday on CBS Sports. Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Chevrolet. America is on the move, and Chevrolet is supplying the wheel. Chevrolet and you taking charge. And by Wagner, the right tool for painting.
Pat Summerall and John Madden back at Texas Stadium. Dallas has 27 first downs. Philadelphia has 6. Dallas has had the ball 32 minutes, 35 seconds. The Eagles have had it 12:25. That's just about as lopsided as a score. Minutes of football left. 2nd and 7 for the Cowboys at the Eagle 13. Dorsett and Springs, the 2 running backs. Cowboys operate with their 2 tight end setup. Dupree on the left, Cosby on the right, the 1 wide receiver who is Butch Johnson. Here he comes in motion. White fake. Springs. Anthony Griggs made the stop. Dennis Harrison was in White's face and caused the hurry.
Well, the Eagles had that one covered well. What Danny White was trying to do was run a bootleg and then option run or pass out here on the right side, and everything was covered. He couldn't run, and he really had no one to pass to.
Harvey Armstrong comes in place in Clark. Seattle 24, the Raiders 22. 3rd quarter.
You got to see on Danny White's left shoulder, that's for captain. Cowboys have 4 captains, Danny White being one of them.
White. Hit Butch Johnson at about the 2. Just inside the 2.
Tom Landry told you not to give any of those reactions. You're not supposed to do that. That was just a little one. From the shotgun here. That's Danny White. He sees Butch Johnson over here to his right, man-to-man, hits him. Butch Johnson gets right down to about the 2-yard line. Now watch, Tom Landry said, I don't want any reactions this year. He'll think you're going to get there some more. Doesn't have any more. But he did have a reaction.
Yes.
At the end of it. He had one of those pistol deals.
Tom says if you do that, it looks like you don't expect to do it anymore. Goal from the 2. Springs and Newsom were the backs. They throw outside to Newsom. Newsom comes up with the football and gets the Dallas touchdown. Bernard Wilson was out there with him. The ball was underthrown, and Newsom made the correct adjustment.
Newsom's at the outside. He's getting a big rush. He just throws that ball up. Newsom made a great recovery there.
He really
adjusted to the ball in flight as Bernard Wilson watched the whole thing happen. Tried to do something about it.
Cowboys 36. Septien trying to make it 37. Out of the hold by Glenn Toronto. 9:24. They get the ball with that effort. Septien pops it right down the middle. 13:14 left to play at Texas Stadium. It's Dallas 37. The Philadelphia Eagles 7.
Good luck, son. Make us proud.
This year, 2 million families will send their kids off to college. But many of these kids won't be able to compete because they lack computer skills. A home computer can help. The Commodore 64 gives you more computer for less money than anyone else. Instead of saving for your kids' education, maybe you should spend a little for it.
Billy Ray Perkins, for one brief moment, played left field in the majors. Looks like a stroll-light night.
Looks like a stroll-light night. Looks like a stroll-light night. When things are going
Stroll-light, a great tasting beer that doesn't fill you up.
Looks like a stroll-light night. Out the left field. When nothing can go wrong. Looks like a stroll-light night. When good times come along.
Cowboys 37, Philadelphia 7. 13-14 left to play. Final quarter. Danny White, 24 out of 36 for 266 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Deep in the end zone was Major Everett. Don't forget the NFL schedule for next week. Atlanta will be at Shea Stadium in New York, where John Madden and I will be. Chicago at Philadelphia. Detroit against Washington. The Lions all of a sudden playing very well. Minnesota against Green Bay. All those are early. 49ers against the Rams and New Orleans against Tampa Bay at 3:30 Eastern Time. It all begins with the NFL today. Ron Jaworski still the quarterback for Philadelphia. 13:08 left. 37-7 the Eagles trail. Cowboys trying to put the heat on Jaworski. He throws behind the intended receiver. Mike Quick. Brunig on the coverage.
This has been a tough day, really, for Ron Jaworski. As we see, he's 5 for 15, but in their 8 possessions, of course, they had 1 touchdown in their first possession, and they had 5 times they had a punt. The other 2, they had interceptions. Tough day.
Rough day. Was the first pass he threw was an 83-yard touchdown strike to Mike Quick.
Good start to a bad day.
Jaworski back to throw. Here comes Harvey Martin around the corner. There's his target, Al Dixon, the backup tight end for 22 yards and an Eagle first down.
Let's watch Harvey Martin here. He's working against Stan Walders. It seems like those guys have been going against each other forever. That's a real battle. You see Stan just keeps pushing him, pushes him right out. John Dutton was the guy that got there. Tom Landry said Harvey Martin had his best game last week. He said, but he's still not Harvey.
Not the Harvey that he used to be. So the World Series score. Cowboys in their walking secondary. Jaworski gets it out to Williams. Williams gets into Cowboy territory, and with that last spin gets an Eagle first down.
I think as the year goes on, we're going to hear more and more about this Mike Williams here. He really has a flow about him. He can catch the ball, run, dart, so on. He's only a rookie. Last week was his first start, and that first start for a rookie's tough. You know, those eyes get big, the stomach has stuff going on in there. And Harry Campbell said, I told him it's just like Mississippi College playing Alcorn, but there's 70,000 people yelling at you in Giant Stadium. You can't believe that one. But he's going to be a good one.
He's a big guy, 217 pounds, 6'2". Jaworski back to throw. Oliver out to the right side, batted away by Too Tall Jones. With Benham.
That's the reason they call him too tall. He's too tall to throw over, too big to throw around. It's really tough for an offensive team to throw to their right because of that guy. I mean, sometimes he gets there, but even when he doesn't, he stops and jumps up, and it's hard to get that ball around him. You can't go through him.
No.
And you can't go over him.
So what option does that leave?
Under, maybe, or a lateral underneath through his legs.
The Eagles didn't have enough players on the field. And Jaworski takes a timeout, so they'll have 2 left. They trail Dallas by 30 points. Cowboys 37. The Eagles 7.
What gets America's workers off to work each fall?
Presto.
What keeps the view sunny for your mother-in-law?
Prestone. Why does your car need a fresh fill of Prestone? A radiator could look this bad after just 10,000 miles of driving on weak, neglected antifreeze, while a Prestone radiator looks this good. That's the Prestone difference.
Susie goes to kindergarten. What brings her safely home? America goes with Prestone.
People might give you their trust once, but after that, it must be earned. That's why we at Emery are proud to be the overnight delivery service so often relied on to deliver in the clutch.
Not bad. Maybe you could use a little pine tar. Thanks.
Emery, we've earned the trust of American business.
Don't forget Saturday, October the 29th, the San Antonio Spurs against the Houston Rockets, and the debut of Ralph Sampson in the NBA against Artist Gilmore, 3:45 Eastern Time. It'll be interesting to see. Sampson's not a real, well, he's tall, of course, 7'4", but not that heavy, not that muscular looking. How he stands that hammering in the NBA.
He'll get a little hammering, and I bet he gets a lot of it early, too, won't he?
The indoctrination.
Oh, too tall. Good start. Holy, holy. Too tall. That's the way to get off. He started that sprint up the field. He left a minute and a half before anyone else did. Watch, he gets into that thing. Watch, he's to the left. He said, I'm going. I don't care about the rest of you guys. Where is that quarterback? There you are. Hey, wait, hold on.
He almost took the snap.
He was trying to intercept the snap. He doesn't want Jaworski. He just wants the ball.
Encroachment, number 72.
That was real encroachment.
Oh, encroachment. That's offside. That was a tough one for the officials. It was awfully close.
Yeah. It looked like Jesse Owens rushing the pass.
Right up the field. He had that good trot going. Elbows in, hands out. Head up.
11:18 left to play. Jaworski intended for Carmichael, and Carmichael motioning as if he felt he was held, but no flag. 37-7, Cowboys ahead. Let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat, we've got 9:55 to go in Anaheim. The Rams are tied with the Falcons. Eric Dickerson has 2 touchdowns, 12 for the season. Let's go back to Pat and John.
37-7, Dallas leading Philadelphia here at Texas Stadium. 3rd down and 5. Jaworski operates one more time out of the shotgun. Guy Morris, the center. Smirrick and White, the tackles. Martin and Jones, the ends, and they are ready to go. Intended for Glenn Young. Cowboys all over Jaworski. Boy, he's earning his money today.
Well, he is. And that's something Glenn Young will learn. You know, he's only a rookie, but when you look in and you see those safeties and that all-out blitz coming, you have to run your pattern a little quicker and look a little sooner. Because the quarterback, you know he's not going to have the time.
Tom Spladany back to punt. Rod Hill back deep. Not that deep. Trying to get it in the corner. It bounces into the end zone. 41-yard punt. 21 yards in net. We'll return to Texas Stadium after this word from your local station.
Monday, Jill St. John enters the world of Emerald Point.
Came to the right place.
As Hillary is connected to the murder and Celia suffers a tragic accident.
This is CBS. How do competitive air delivery services stack up? Leading services deliver a 10-pound package coast to coast for $44. With UPS Next Day Air, the same package costs $21. And if the package doesn't have overnight urgency, UPS Second Day Air costs $11.50. UPS Next Day Air and Second Day Air, from the service American business depends on. Any way you stack it, UPS saves you money from the ground up.
Marine Corps Aviation. Support from the air for Marines on the ground. We fly some of the world's most sophisticated jets, tactical planes, All types of helicopters, even transport and refueling planes. More than 1/3 of our jobs give technical skills and training in aviation. And as a Marine pilot, we offer you a challenge you won't find anywhere else. Check us out. Maybe you can be one of us. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Come with Genesee to the great outdoors.
Sometimes you have to get above the clouds to film mountain goats. They climb terrain that's almost vertical without missing a step. After a day in these mountains, I've earned my Genesee.
Our one brewery makes it best. Genesee, the great outdoors in a glass.
Play along with Family Feud, Monday at 7:30.
With the encouragement of Drew Pearson and Butch Johnson waving their arms, this Cowboy crowd has come to its feet.
It all started in the huddle, and Drew Pearson started firing the crowd up, and Butch did. They were leading cheers. They were in the huddle. The offensive linemen didn't look at all. They didn't even look up.
They know they've still got to go to Philadelphia. Pearson in motion. That's Ron Springs off the left side for about 3. Greg Brown made the stop. In the World Series, it is the Orioles 5. The Phillies nothing. 5 runs, 4 hits for the Orioles. They somehow are able to get it done. There's what caused the crowd to be up.
Look at him. Look at those offensive linemen, though. Doug Crosby saying, I'm going to save my energy. The linemen who are just standing there kind of hunched over.
Yeah.
They have to block every play. They can't.
Every play.
They can't lead cheers. They can't lift their arms.
This is Dorsett. He is taken out of bounds short of a first down by Dennis Devon. For an NFL update, let's go to Brent Musburger in New York.
Pat Leon Bright fumbled a punt for the New York Giants. The Chiefs recovered, and then Bill Kinney pulled out and went to Henry Marshall. Touchdown, Chiefs, and now they're starting to pull away from the Giants, 31-17. Back to Pat and John.
Tell you what, John, those Chiefs have started to become a very formidable passing team.
They are, and the Giants, they're probably shell-shocked.
After they lost to the Eagles last week and now being bombarded by this one. Shotgun for White. Incomplete. No flag. For the first time in a long time, we'll see John Warren, the Cowboys punter. They had the ball so much they haven't had to punt.
John Warren was the backup punter the last 2 years at the University of Tennessee. He was their poocher. He'd come in and punt once they got inside the 50. Tom Landry's been working with him lately here.
Right. Tom was a great punter, of course.
Tom was working what, in his drop, was he saying?
Yes. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be known as a poocher.
How's your pooching? Oh, I'm pooching pretty good.
Rafferty, the snapper. Good snap. Time's work paid off. Good kick by Warren. Chases Glenn Young way back to his own 24. He breaks a couple of tackles. Gets out to about the 37 where the Eagles will take over. Mike Walter was the man down to make the stop. 50-yard punt, 11-yard return, 39 yards in net, and that's acceptable.
4 years ago, we introduced Chevy Citation, and it became America's most popular front-drive car. But that wasn't good enough for the engineers. Since that time, they've improved its performance, improved its ride, improved its comfort. And after making so many engineering refinements, we made one more change. The name, announcing Chevy Citation 2. And you.
Taking charge.
In the race to put personal computers in the office, Wang introduces the winning formula. The Wang Professional Computer. In data processing, it's faster than any personal computer tested. Only Wang offers you the best-selling word processing in the world. And only Wang gives you all this, plus unbeaten communications. The Wang Professional Computer. In the race to office automation, it leaves the competition in the dust.
Saturday begins with the NCAA today, and then Texas, those awesome-looking Longhorns against SMU. They don't like each other at all. They're both 5-0.
Boy, Texas sure looked good yesterday, didn't they? Darn near looked unbeatable.
I didn't like it too much, but you're right.
Watch this John Warren. Now, here's the punter. Now, here's what a poocher does when he has to take on a block. You aren't going to block me. I'll turn my back. Now I'll go again.
And then I'll look back and see who you were.
He just stopped and turned around.
Joe Pisarcik is now the Eagle quarterback. Harry Harrington in the backfield. Pisarcik down the middle to Williams. Good catch. He's hit by Dennis Thurman and cut down hard, but held on. 15-yard gain. Yes, I think you're right. That's the guy we'll hear from as the year passes and as the years pass.
Well, you know, their #1 draft choice this year was Michael Haddix. And he's had some fumbling problems, and so they started Mike Williams in his place. Haddix didn't even play at all last week. And, of course, the reason that they're playing at all is because Wilbert Montgomery's not there, and he'll be out for 4 more weeks.
Here's Pisarcik. Back to throw. Intended for Mike Quick, who couldn't quite come up with the handle.
I'll tell you, this is tough for a quarterback when you come in and the score is 37-7. And, you know, and what was that old line that one quarterback said? He said, "What do you want me to do, Coach? Win it or tie it?"
That was Dan Pastorini, at whom you were just looking, the other Eagle quarterback.
Maybe he was the guy that said that.
Yep. He's been in that situation, I know, a lot of times. Harry Harrington and Major Everett in the Eagle backfield. Here comes that all-out Cowboy blitz, and there goes the Pisarcik down by Bill Bates.
I'll tell you, they love Bill Bates here, don't they? Watch him. He's going to come right up the middle. You see, he started in the back, and he came up the middle. The other guys were blocked, and he ran right around the blocks, through the traffic, and right into Joe Pisarcik. He started to celebrate there and then said, "No, I play for the Cowboys. I can't do that."
He's serious about this game. 37-7, Dallas leading with 8:55 left to play in the game. Pisarcik gets a low snap, falls on it. Or did he find it? Yes, he did. Randy White was there. Harvey Martin was there. Here comes Spladini again. The World Series continues to be the same thing. 5-0 Orioles over the Phillies. Now they're through 6. Orioles have only 4 hits, but 5 runs. Rod Hill back deep for the Cowboys at their 25. At the 20.
See if he gets out of bounds again.
Going to get more than out of bounds out of this one. He gained a yard. 2 yards.
I'll tell you, Rod Hill will hear about that. Coaches don't like to see that. Now, that's the thing. In the NFL, you can't return a punt that way. You have to get it and get it going upfield. I'll guarantee you Tom doesn't like that.
Too much dancing. Not enough upfield. 37-7.
Chevy Top is taking charge. Compare S10 Maxi Cab to Datsun King Cab, and you'll see Chevy S10 has
Maxi room.
50% more rear load space.
Maxi payload.
More payload than King Cab.
Maxi power.
Optional V6 muscle the imports don't have.
Maxi towing.
3,000 pounds more than the imports. Maximize your truck value. Chevy S10 Maxi Cab. Chevy Top is taking charge.
Nearly 4 hours. That's how long it took us to paint this room with a roller. Then we painted it in less than 1 hour with the new Wagner Power Roller. A living room that took nearly 7 hours. The Wagner Power Roller finished in less than 3. The Power Roller pumps paint straight from the can to the roller or to any of several optional accessories. Why waste your time painting a pan when you could be painting your walls instead? The Wagner Power Roller, the right tool for painting.
Next Sunday, NFL action. The Atlanta Falcons against the New York Jets. The San Francisco 49ers against the Los Angeles Rams. Plus other regional action starting with the NFL today on CBS Sports.
Hey, look at this, John.
There's something that you don't see very often. Tom Landry smiling. I think Butch Johnson made him smile. I think Butch Johnson said something. Even Tom had a chuckle at that one.
Gary Hogaboom is the Dallas quarterback, but he can throw it. Dorsett behind the line of scrimmage by Ray Ellis. Loss of 1 or 2.
I was saying earlier that the Cowboys are the type of team that they really don't take it easy on Dorsett. But now may be the time to do it, though. I mean, you have the lead. You're in the fourth quarter. You have your backup quarterback in there. And I always think at that time you get the big guys out.
I think there he goes right there.
Yeah, he may be leaving right now.
Newsom just came in. You saw him maybe glance back at the bench a little bit like, hey, wait a minute.
Enough's enough. He said, look, I got a bad wrist. I got bad ribs. I got a bad thigh. Let me just sit down a minute.
I know what a 100-yard game is about. Here's Hogaboom back to throw. Great delivery he has. Conway out to the 40. Anthony Griggs made the tackle. 23-yard gain. Hogaboom can really throw it.
He can throw it, and usually when the backup quarterback comes in, he usually throws to a backup end. And that's because when he practices mostly with those guys. I'm sure that Hogaboom has thrown a lot more passes to Doug Donnelly than he has to a Tony Hill or a Drew Pearson or a Butch Johnson or a Doug Cosby. You always go in there and look for your favorite guy.
There's Danny White. Cowboys are 26-2, going on 27-2 since he became the starting quarterback here at Texas Stadium. Here's Jimmy Newsom out close to midfield. Anthony Griggs picks him up. Bernard Wilson, some help. Ron Jaworski, who had a tough day. He was 7 out of 20 for 172 yards. One of those was an 83-yard touchdown pass on the first play of the game to Mike Quick. Without that, and even with that,
and that's the guy that he was talking to there. He was talking to Mike Quick and saying, look, you know, it's only your second year. We'll have these types of days, but the important thing right now is what we do next week.
And off to Newsom over left side, maybe a yard. Here's the way the NFC East looks as the day began. The Cowboys would appear to be 7-0. Washington tomorrow night. Philadelphia 4-3. The Giants losing would be 2-5. St. Louis 1. And they are already 2-5.
That's going to be an interesting battle, that Cowboy-Redskin thing. I think that's one of those deals that's going to go right down to the final weeks.
3rd and 2. Hogaboom not from the shotgun up under the center. Sends Crosby in motion, gives to Ron Springs. Springs dives for the first down. Let's check out the rest of the standings in the NFC. That is up to date now. Minnesota has won. They're 5-2. Green Bay 3-3. They play the Redskins tomorrow night. Detroit 3-4. They're playing better and better. Chicago 2-5, and Tampa Bay in trouble, I think.
Oh boy.
Western Division is something else now. San Francisco 5-2. The Rams 4-2 and still playing. New Orleans 4-3 and very respectable. And Atlanta playing the Rams. Still involved. Here is Pastorini warming up. The World Series now, they're in the 7th inning, and it's still 5-0. The Orioles over the Phillies.
Bad day for pro sports in Philadelphia. We were talking about, you know, the life of a nose tackle earlier. Let's just see what it's like towards the end of the game when you're behind. Here he is. He takes on the center's block. There comes another offensive lineman. Then the center comes back and gets him again. A guy comes, he gets him from behind. Look, they got him in, like those things in the fun house you used to go in, where you go in the circles and they just keep bumping you around. They had them all circled around there. 3 guys. Man, that's too much. You ought to get 2 pregame meals when they do that to you.
That doesn't look like any fun house. 2nd and 6. Handoff was to Springs. Is to Springs. He stays on his feet, gets around the corner. 3 different offensive linemen in the middle of the Dallas offensive setup. I'll tell you about them in the middle in a minute. But let's look at the AFC now. The East, Buffalo 5-2, Baltimore 4-3, Miami 4-3, the Jets. Many people say they have the best talent there is, but they're 3-4 nevertheless, and New England 3-4. Central, Pittsburgh 5-2, Cleveland 4-3, Cincinnati 1-5, Houston and Tampa in their own bracket. And in the Western Division, the Raiders continue to roll. Denver 3-3, San Diego 3-4, Seattle 3-3, Kansas City 2-4, and some of that action still going on. Here's Newsom. Someone said Newsom ran like Franco Harris, and he does have that long stride, a little bit like Franco.
Well, the thing is, he's a long-legged guy, so he has to take long strides and then, take that type of thing the way Franco does. As I tell you, these fans want more. It's 4th down. They want to go for it. Tom Landry says, okay, what the heck? Let's get some more offensive practice in here.
They leave the clock running with 2:45 left to play. Dorsett 19 carries, 92 yards. Springs 17 for 63 and Newsom 9 for 55. They got that offense geared up today. Springs. If he had cut up the field, I think he got it. Where he went, I don't know if he did.
That's what you have to do. I don't care if it's in the 4th quarter or not. When you get outside there and it's short yardage, all you have to do is turn the ball up the field. He tried to bounce out one more time, and you don't have to do that in short yardage. That gives the Eagles the ball, 1st and 10.
2:24 left to play. The Eagles will take over on their own 38-yard line with, let's see who's the quarterback. It's Pastorini now. So let's see what Dan can do. 2:24 left to play. Pat Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium, where the Cowboys lead the Eagles by 30 points.
Chevrolet Caprice Classic, the only full-size car picked last year by Car and Driver magazine as one of the 10 best cars you can buy. Chevrolet Caprice. Compare the deep cushion comfort, the luxury, the ride, the full-sized room. It's an exceptional value. You can spend more for a car, but why in the world would you? And you.
This is the story of the life of a small business and a fact of life the partners overlooked. The fact they overlooked is that nobody lives forever, and that life insurance from the Travelers could have helped finance the passing of ownership to the surviving partner and kept the business going. Call an independent Travelers agent or broker. Sure, there are bigger businesses Travelers insures, but none more important.
Tonight on CBS 60 Minutes, Alice one day at a time, the Jeffersons, Goodnight, Beantown, and Trapper John M.D. Always a great Sunday evening. Checking just how long the Cowboys have had the ball today. 41 minutes to 16 as far as minutes. 83 plays the Cowboys have run to 37 for Philadelphia. Dan Pastorini is now the Eagle quarterback. Pressure's on him. Overthrows Major Everett. Gene Shepko applied the pressure. He and Larry Bethea. Smirrick. Total different bunch on defense now for Dallas.
Dan Pastorini, because it's been a long time since he's played. He starts off in the shotgun, just shrugs one off, throws it out there. I think Major Everett should have had that one.
Clock stopped with 2:18 left to play. The ball's at the Eagles 38, Dallas 37, Philadelphia 7. Pastorini going deep. Intended for Al Dixon. Back on defense. Dexter Clinkscale, Michael Downs, Dennis Thurman.
I think that's one Dan Pastorini just threw up there because he knew he wasn't going to get anything. You can't get anything to the post if the safety's sitting in there, and he threw it right up there. Well, I know where Mercedes, Texas is, and I know who the Dallas Cowboys and CBS Sports are, but I don't know who that guy on the bottom is.
Well, that's our very astute and very capable and very loyal producer, Bob Stinner.
You do know?
Yeah, I knew he was.
Yeah, he's great.
I didn't know where Mercedes was.
I knew Mercedes. Of course, I know Bob Stinner.
Pastorini going deep. Everson Walls back with Glenn Young. Still 5-0 at the end of 7 in the World Series. Philly's got another hit, so both teams have 4 hits now. But Baltimore has the 5 runs. They look headed under Joe Altobelli for their first title in a long time. 1970, I think it goes back to. Splatini back to punt. Dallas with 10 men up. Rod Hill back at the 25. Splatini. Busy day. This one doesn't tip over. Hill handle. He helped out with the net.
I guess I was wrong. I guess there was no coach that talked to him on the sideline there because Rod Hill came right back and did the same thing again. Started going backwards and losing yardage.
Tom Landry said yesterday how much he'd improved as a punt returner, and he is exciting. There's no question about that. 37-7. Cowboys lead.
Here comes the hottest selling Chevrolet today. The fun-to-drive front-drive Cavalier. Fire up 2 liters of electronically fuel-injected fun and experience more horsepower than the top 3 imports. The minute you feel Cavalier before, you'll know what makes Cavalier the hottest selling Chevrolet today. And you. Taking charge.
You can't build a bike for the Olympics by machine. Each tube's got to be custom fit to transfer weight and forward momentum. After all, a champion should ride a champion.
The Olympics take teamwork, and Budweiser is proud to be part of that team. This Bud's for you.
He dominated college basketball as few have. Now he faces the ultimate test, the NBA. The Ralph Sampson era begins in 2 weeks on CBS Sports.
Pat Summerall and John Madden at Texas Stadium. Dallas 37, Philadelphia 7. 1:54 left to play. The Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining. Dallas has all of theirs. Dallas operates from their own 20. Gary Hogaboom, the Cowboy quarterback, with runs, Springs the lone setback. Handoff Springs. Nope, beg your pardon, Newsom, as he spins away. Don't forget, following football comes up the all-new 60 minutes. Clock still runs. The Eagles won't take any timeouts, and I know the Cowboys won't at this particular time after they lead by 30 points. Gary Hogaboom.
You know, I'm sure that with this victory today that Tom Landry will be happy with his consistency in his offense. And there's one other thing that he worries about. He says, you know, sometimes if you win all the time, you don't really have the urgency to improve. The urgency that's only helped by a loss. I'm sure he doesn't want to lose one to get that help, but he has a tough game coming up next week against the Raiders.
Against the Raiders here next Sunday night. This would be the Cowboys' best start since 1977. When they last won the Super Bowl.
And of course, when you can do this to a team in your division, you know that you have to play again up there. I think it's a psychological advantage to your team. And if they can get the Eagles the next time, they can make a two-team race out of this division.
Well, I know that is the way that Marion Campbell feels about the situation. You've got to win against teams in your own division. Here's Hogaboom back to throw. John Lee again at the Dallas first down at the 45. Cowboys with that move over 500 yards on offense for the day, and that would satisfy everybody. Cowboy player injured on that last play. Looks like, well, I can't tell. Herbert Scott. 15 seconds left to play. What a time to get hurt. Dallas leading by 30.
MVP, sponsored by Atari Home Video Games. 1979. Houston Oilers running back Earl Campbell scores 19 touchdowns and gains nearly 1,700 yards to win his second consecutive NFL rushing title. Campbell, considered the best big back in football, carries the Oilers all the way to the AFC Championship game and is named Pro Football's most valuable player.
If you think ColecoVision plays all Atari cartridges... You mean it can't? Here's Pac-Man on ColecoVision. But here's Pac-Man for the Atari 5200 Super System. Now you're talking. And it doesn't work on ColecoVision. But won't their adapter? It won't play Super System cartridges. Not pole position? Not this pole position.
Not centipede?
Not this centipede. Only on the Atari 5200 Super System. Hey, show him Pac-Man. Here. Where? In there. Now Pac-Man comes with it. Hey.
It was Herbert Scott who was injured on the play, but there is Herbert Scott over on the sideline now. He seems to be okay. Dallas has made 32 first downs. That ties a club record. The fourth time they've done that. Second time against the Eagles. There it goes. Cowboys win 37-7 over the Philadelphia Eagles and remain unbeaten with their record of 7-0. Very, very formidable offensive performance, John. There's Tony Dorsett.
I'm saying word number one. And, you know, they had been 6-0, but they've taken a little heat for the way they did it. But I'm sure they won't take any heat for today.
Pat Summerall and John Madden here. 37-7 the final. Let's go to Anaheim.
We'd like to welcome those of you who've been watching the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm Jim Kelly along with Hank Stram, and there's our situation. The Rams have just taken the lead, a 2-yard scoring strike from Vince Ferragamo to Gooman, and it's the first time they've led all afternoon. Falcons have twice built up 14-point leads. On 2 occasions, the Rams have battled back. The extra point blocked by Kenny Johnson. He also blocked a field goal try, but he was called for a crucial pass interference that led to the go-ahead Ram touchdown. 4 seconds left, and the tying touchdown for the end of the football game on this very play. Penalty flag is down. Let's check the call. Looks like it might be against the Los Angeles Rams.
If it was, it was really a dumb play.
Pass interference. Offensive foul on the left.
There it is. It's over.
It is over.
So the Los Angeles Rams have beaten the Atlanta Falcons 27-21. Here is the winning touchdown. Ferragamo, play action to the right side. Linebackers were frozen because of the play action. Watch how open Gooman is. Touchdown. Los Angeles, the only time, Hank, they led in the football game.
And that's the time to lead it at the very end.
So for John Robinson, the Los Angeles Rams up their record now to 5-2. Meanwhile, the Atlanta Falcons fall to 2-5 under first-year coach Dan Henning. What a year it's been for Dan Henning now. As we mentioned several times, they lost the 4 games by 13 points. You can make it now 5 games by a total of 19 points. And on 5 different occasions, the Rams have gone down in the last minute. This time, however, they came out on the winning end. The National Football League on CBS. The executive producer is Terry O'Neill. Today's game, if you look at our senior producer, Charles H. Milton III. Today's game produced by John Paratzis and directed by Joe Assetti, and the rest of the folks who bring you the sights and sounds of NFL football here on CBS. Well, you said it very early when the Falcons built up that 14-point lead. A football game is one of 4 quarters, and the Rams hung in there longest and toughest.
Yeah, you have a tendency to give up, and feel, well, the game's over, and really 14 points only means 2 plays. And so all you have to do is come up with 2 plays, and you're back in business. The Rams did that, and they maintained a very high level of enthusiasm and anticipation of doing a good job, and they got the job done in great shape.
So, as we mentioned, you should take a look at the NFC Western Division right now. The San Francisco 49ers will go to 5-2 after they beat the Saints. The Rams are 5-2 after their win against Atlanta. New Orleans drops to 4-3, and Atlanta now is 2-5. Those are the standings in the NFC West. For Hank Stram, I'm Jim Kelly saying so long from Los Angeles. The final score, the Los Angeles Rams 27 and the Atlanta Falcons 21. We'll take you now to Kansas City, the Chiefs and the Giants. Here's Frank Lieber and Dick Vermeil.
And welcome to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil. We have a minute 55 left in our game, and as you can see, the Chiefs have had much the better of it, leading the New York Giants 38-17, capitalizing on 4 Giant turnovers and turning them into 24 points. Right now, the Giants have the ball, 1st and 10 from midfield. They have just had the 2-minute warning. Scott Bruner's pass intended for Butch Woolfolk. Ball's incomplete.
Inches off. They've been inches off just
all day,
really. That's how it's going for them. These guys are celebrating.
They are.
They are excited.
Been a long year for them so far, and they may have turned it around today. Those of you watching the Dallas-Philadelphia game know the Cowboys had a big afternoon, and the Rams have rallied. They were down 21-7 and came back to beat Atlanta. And the World Series now gone to the last half of the 8th inning. And Baltimore applying the whitewash to the Philadelphia Phillies. It's going to be a long day in Philadelphia tomorrow. Both the Phillies fans and the Eagle fans look like. Bruner on 2nd and 10 unloads. Tried to get it to Woolfolk, but the pressure was there, as it has been, Dick, most of the day.
They've done a good job. You know what's happening today, too? I think that John Malkovich is getting his program sold to the Kansas City Chiefs. He came in there, took over a new program. Hard to get him to work. He said their work habits on the field, that, in his opinion, were poor. And now he'll be able to sell the value of hard work.
Coming in very hard, Dave Lindstrom there.
That's a personal foul right there. That's a personal foul. That should have been called.
Mike Bell, number 99, taking a shot to Bruner's head. Scott has had a long afternoon. Some of his own making. Tried to hit Missler. Missler caught one of those deflected passes a bit earlier, but not that time. Pretty good defense by the Kansas City Chiefs, who had Albert Lewis down there, number 29, defending.
Yeah, you're going to see here that they should have called offensive pass interference on John Missler. He's going down the seam, and he shoves the defender. But I guess this late in the game, they won't call it. We didn't get to show it to you. It was just prior to that, he shoved him with his inside elbow.
Well, we have had in excess of 20 penalties called in this football game once again. The reason it is slowed down considerably. Those type of games seem to follow us around, Dick.
And overtime games.
I don't think we got that problem today. 4th down play. Nothing to lose now for the...
Yes, sir.
Something to lose. Something to lose. Deron Cherry, who is the leading pass interceptor in the American Football Conference, has just picked off his 5th toss of the year. This is the young man who is filling in for Gary Barbaro, and he's been holding out.
He's the guy that didn't make the final cut. Comes back for a second chance, and now he's playing super. Double zone coverage here. They're playing him 2-on-1. He's sitting back there just relaxing. Not a difficult ball to intercept. Just sitting back there playing prevent defense. Yeah, he's a great example of persistence. A guy that gets cut, he doesn't, sink. He just comes back and gets it done. Here comes Todd Blackledge.
Todd Blackledge making his 2nd appearance of the season. The quarterback of the national champions from Penn State last year. He played a quarter against St. Louis when Kansas City won big against the Cardinals a couple of weeks ago. Now in there with a 1st and 10. Chiefs have the ball at their own 42-yard line. And they were just trying to run out the clock at this point. And I don't know, if you were Bill Parcells, would you bother calling timeout or just...
No, I wouldn't, but I think I bet you they give Todd a chance to throw a pass here in the ballgame. You know, you don't start a #1 pick quarterback right off the bat very often and have him start out successfully. And these are the opportunities you give him to grow a little bit and gain some confidence and gain a feel for the National Football League.
Giants are not calling timeout. A reminder, 60 minutes in the primetime schedule. Seen in its entirety following football, except on the West Coast. Those shows will be seen at the regularly scheduled time. 2nd down, 7. Chiefs at their 45. Blackledge just keeping it on the ground. Trying to run out the clock. Lawrence Ricks, number 42 in the carry, who was a draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys and was traded to Kansas City about the time the regular season started. Keep in mind, Brett Musburger coming up with scores and highlights. As the clock ticks away, the final 30 seconds. Blackledge is John Mackovich's quarterback of the future, but Bill Kenny has done some job today. He threw for 342 yards. That's the best in his career. Series has gone to the 9th now. With Baltimore looking like it's about to wrap it up. And this will be the last play of this game, I'm sure. Billy Jackson. That'll do it. Now the Giants are 2-5 on the year. Kansas City moves up to 3-4 with a very impressive victory. The Chiefs, who have had trouble, they've led early and then faltered down the stretch. Take the lead here in the second half and win it going away with the 8 of 5 big turnovers. They lead the NFL in that turnover department. They have 31 on the year. Our executive producer, Terry O'Neill, as you see John Mackovich, Bill Parcells shaking hands. Our producer, Charles H. Milton III. Our director, Bob Dunphy. Our associate producer, Ernie Bauer. And thanks to everyone for helping us put this telecast together from Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Frank Lieber along with Dick Vermeil saying, stay tuned. Brett Musburger is next with scores and highlights.